It's Transformers96 here with another video review. This time we have the Transformers Combiner Wars, the Combaticons Brawl figure. So yeah. So before we go into the actual figure here, let's go over the box. Really love this background. I think it's very cool. However, when you first get it, it will just have a comic in the background, which has some great artwork of the character. Nice picture of his vehicle mode. On the back, you can see him in both modes, as well as on the side. The Bruticus figure that you can build, and all the figures that you will need to build him. So yeah. So let's go over Brawl. So Brawl is one of my favorite Combaticons. Not my favorite, but he is pretty high on the list. Definitely do like him a lot, and obviously he's been featured in a movie. And, you know, Transformers 5 might feature a good majority of these Combaticons, at least Onslaught for sure, and there are rumors that Swindle is in there as well. Fingers crossed for that. But overall, really liking this Brawl figure a lot. I think that the tank mode is excellent. Really looks like an actual tank. I'm very impressed with this. It's compact very nicely. It feels very solid. Even the back, I like the designing in the back. I think that looks very cool. Sometimes on these Transformer figures, the back gets neglected and it's kind of just random pieces. This might just be random pieces, but I think that it just looks pretty neat and, you know, kind of fits in. It looks very unified, and it looks like it should look like that, basically. Really do like this a lot. The treads look very good, and there's a clear separation, of course, paint-wise, where you can really see the difference there, which is quite nice. He has Decepticon symbols on him. The Decepticon symbols are painted extremely nicely. Love the silver and the purple, and it's painted on there really crisply, and there's just no issues on it. Look at that, really cool. Absolutely love the Decepticon symbols on all of these figures. I have to say that they're all done with really nice precision, which I do like a lot. And overall, he just looks excellent in tank mode. I think that he probably has the best alt mode out of all of the Combaticons that I have at the moment. So really quite happy about that. Transformation, not too bad. You just lift this up. See where I want to get started. You can kind of hinge this down just to kind of break up some of the pieces. With the arms here, you kind of just pull them out a bit, and then you just want to rotate them up. Pull them out, rotate them up. There you go. Get them out of the way a bit. You can unpeg the arms there. You can even rotate these and unpeg the arms. And then the legs, all these Combaticons, have a really similar leg joint here. Just kind of hinges out, swings up, and kind of just locks into place. Really neat. It's a neat way to collapse the legs. Works really well too, so I do like that quite a bit. I'll rotate the body. Alright, as the head goes, push his head up. You're going to want to take the gun off because this becomes his weapon. I found the best way to take it off, and I struggled with this at the very beginning, but just kind of pull down is the best way to get it off, because it really just kind of hinges into those little knobs there, which allows it to hinge up and down. And then with the waist, this waist is on two hinges. This hinge is pretty loose, this hinge is pretty tight. You want to take the tight hinge, there we go, and just kind of rotate it like that so it's a bit at an angle. It doesn't plug in very well. I mean, this little slot kind of just fits into there, you know, so it holds, but it doesn't hold extremely well. And you can just get the arms or the shoulders to where you'd like them. And there you go. Then you have Brawl in his robot mode. Really do like his robot mode a lot. He's very bulky, he's very tough. He definitely, he looks like the Brawl character, obviously, which I do like. I really do love the broad shoulders there. This gun fits on his arm really nicely. I love the way that he has it. I was worried that, you know, with his gun, he'd have to hold it like the other ones. But no, it actually does fit on his arm, which I think does look really nice. He does have, you know, these very small forearms, but I think that they kind of fit his kind of brute personality. So I do like that. And obviously, you can see that his Decepticon symbol does stay on his chest, too, which is really cool. I like the head sculpt a lot. Glad that there is a clear difference in paint from the head to the eyes. Kind of makes it pop a bit more. And overall, yeah, he transforms in a really nice way where he doesn't have much hanging off of him. He has one solid back piece, which really isn't bad, and it just kind of gives him more of a bulk, which I do like. The biggest issue with him is this waist area. It's at an angle, and like I said, it doesn't peg in too well, so, you know, it will pop off when you're messing with him a bit. However, it's not a huge deal. If you want something slightly more stable, you can kind of rotate that up, and then just rotate the arm or the legs down. There you go. and that is slightly more stable. You obviously lose the color there, and his torso becomes quite smushed. However, it's slightly more stable, so you might prefer that. I do just tend to leave it like this, even though it's a little less stable. I think it just looks better, and it, you know, makes his torso a bit longer, which it should be. So I do like that. Going over articulation, it's pretty good. Oh, and also this is the only figure in this series that's a completely new sculpt. All the others are either just repaints or redecos with new parts and things like that, but this one is a completely new sculpt. Articulation is good though. He's got a ball jointed head, which, you know, actually it might not even be a ball joint. I think it might just be a swivel. However, it's on the little panel that it's on to have it flip back is on a hinge, so you can have him look up basically. Then his shoulders are quite interesting. They're on two hinges and a swivel, so you can, you know, you can kind of bring the shoulder up, you can bring it down, and then obviously you can swivel it. He can go out about this far, as you can see. He has ball jointed elbows and no wrists, of course. Waist, he does have a waist swivel, ball jointed hips with a thigh swivel, single hinge knees, which do hinge a pretty decent amount, and then the ankles can hinge, and they are also on a pivot, which I think is really cool. I'm a big fan of them introducing pivots to these Transformer figures. They really don't, or at least they didn't seem to do it very much, but I believe now that they are starting to introduce that joint in with these figures a bit more than usual, which I think is quite good. So overall articulation is pretty good. Also, I found that a lot of these guys have somewhat loose hips. It's nothing too extreme, but some of them are slightly loose. With Brawl here, his hips are very tight, and then his knees are extremely tight, so the joints are all very tight on him, which is really nice. As far as the color goes, he's this very dark green, like an olive green. It's quite dark and, you know, almost a bit brownish. I think it's a nice color. I think it looks good. However, the one that they have on the package is more of a darker olive green, which I would have liked. I would have preferred that a bit more. Obviously, Brawl is green, and I certainly don't want anything super bright. I prefer this more muted color scheme rather than a really bright green. However, if I had my way perfect, they would have done what they have on the package, which is the more, you know, a darker olive green. You know, not quite brownish, a little bit more green than this. However, definitely not super bright and in your face. You know, so I like this color scheme, but it could be slightly better. However, it could also be quite worse as well. I've seen it worse for Brawl figures. Here he is compared to Swindle. Get a little scale there. As you can see, he is quite bulky. Swindle's quite bulky as well, though. But with the shoulder pads especially and the legs, he is pretty bulky and obviously has a big kind of round torso too. So overall, these two look really nice together. At the moment, I don't have Onslaught. He'll be arriving very soon at the time of filming this. But for the four that I have at the moment, Brawl is probably my second favorite. I would say that Swindle is my favorite figure though. But yeah, so overall, quite a nice figure. Let me know what you guys think of it, and thanks so much for watching.